Yes.
In your eyes.
Morning's here, the morning's here.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Disney Morning Show.
Thanks for sitting on hold for 30 seconds.
Doobie. Doobie's not here. Tony. In case you've missed it, we've had some musical issues recently, so we have to use this until we make some new bumpers and figure out a way to make sure that nobody claims our stuff. But anyway, I am as usual. I am Kyle, and as semi-usual, I'm joined by Tony.
Yes, hello.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Good morning.
Let's say hello to some people before we get into the show.
Well, Fred says top of the morning to you.
To you.
So does Steve, who's apparently nursing a blue milk hangover from May the 4th. Fred has some thoughts on Thunderbolt as well. Jeannie, happy Monday to you. And Gio, good morning.
Awesome. Well, let's get started the way we always do. When we last checked the stock on Friday, it was at 92 something. I don't know if I wrote it down correctly. I think it was at 92.65 is what it says. Let's see what's at today. Wow, 92.67. Huge difference there. It was, as you can see, started the day way lower for reasons, but has climbed since. And very.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
Thoughts on why it was low or why it's at what it is now?
I just want to hear your 2 cents.
Oh, you know what? I always had a thing that bothered me is that you get a penny for your thoughts, but you're giving your 2 cents. So anytime you have an idea, you're really losing money. It's not a very good proposition. But anyway, let's get to the weather. Here's Ethan.
Hello there and welcome to another edition of the LP Disney Weather Report. So open up your morning light and say a little prayer for I. You know that if we are to stay alive, then see the peace in every eye. She had 2 babies, one was 6 months, one was 3. In the War of 44, every telephone ring, every heartbeat stinging. When she thought it was God calling her, oh, would her son grow to know his father? I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. I want to know right now what will it be. I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. Will it be yes or will it be sorry? Let's get to the weather. Anaheim is beautiful today, at least according to Kyle, as it will be partly cloudy and 67 degrees. Walt Disney World's high temp today is 86, but that will feel more like 89. Additionally, storms are possible in the mid-afternoon and again in the evening, with a marginal chance for all modes of severe weather. Castaway Cay will be 78 today with sunny skies. Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point will break 80 today and be partly cloudy. Disneyland Paris is much cooler than last week, with temperatures in the 50s for the rest of the night. Tokyo is in for a soggy day tomorrow with rain possible for much of the day. As a result, they'll start the day at their high temperature of 63 and fall a bit from there. Shanghai will be partly cloudy for most of the day tomorrow, although cloud cover will increase in the later hours. Temperature-wise, they'll reach a high of 82. Finally, Hong Kong will see thunderstorms in the morning and into the afternoon, followed by a few more showers before finally clearing around dinner time. Nevertheless, the 83-degree high will feel like 91. And that will do it for another Disney weather update. Have a great day and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Well,
what music did we use? It was that like electric, like down, 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 like at the opening, and that was the problem.
It's one of it. Like every third show, it would get claimed, as well as we don't have an outro anymore for the same reason. And yeah, it's just very random stuff. Things that are supposed to be free to use suddenly being like, nope. And just making them ineligible for monetization, not even rev split.
Yeah.
So who knows? Anyway,
Sorry.
enough of inside baseball.
Yep,
Let's talk
yep.
about May the 4th being yesterday. We had people all over, meaning 2 different places, plus lots of stuff online. So let's just go through some of this quickly. Obviously, there's 57 photos in this post, so I'm not going to go through all of those, let alone all the ones from all the other posts. But lots of May the 4th items available, including things that actually say May the 4th or just various Star Wars items. This is like freezing up on me, so that's not good.
Enjoy the hat.
Yeah, it's a great hat. Let me refresh, see if that helps at all. Also, I realized I forgot to do something. So yeah, lots of different items there. And of course, some similar items also available over at Walt Disney World, where Jeremiah went. I like these mugs. These are probably my favorite item released yesterday. The Tatooine Geonosis and Kashyyyk mugs, which I thought were part of the Been There series, but apparently they're called the Discovery series.
Interesting.
They just keep moving on.
Probably because they put fictional locations into that. So,
yeah. And they're also online, obviously. Got some a lot of the items on there. So if you want any of these items, please go to Laughing Place first and click one of our links. It won't cost you anything extra, but we will get a nice commission that helps support us.
It's good to see a close-up of Demi Lovato's favorite dish right there.
Which one?
No, never mind. All right.
Okay.
Because there's a high-profile interview where she said that, and they asked what her favorite dish is, and she goes, probably a mug, because it has the little handle.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, and there's also a collection for Empire Strikes Back for its anniversary. Although one of the items that they're like, come on, who's doing that? Do you want people following you around reading your shirt? Because that's how you get people following you around reading your shirt.
I can't.
Let me. Okay.
Or if they want to go real cinematic, then they have to have like good flexing in their knees and just kind of go up the back.
Exactly. Then also last night we got a bit of a surprise as Diego Luna showed up at the hard ticket event. Of course,
yes,
couldn't show up during the day, but there was a Disneyland After Dark Star Wars night last night. And can you talk about that for half a second while I do something?
Yeah, absolutely. Diego Luna showed up to celebrate May the 4th alongside all the fans. He had his own little cavalcade going down the street, complete with the 501st Legion of Stormtroopers and all that fun. And apparently Mickey and Minnie were there bounding as droids, but we didn't get any pictures of that. So, but that's
we weren't there, unfortunately. So we have to rely on what Disney releases.
That was a hard sellout ahead of this even happening, and this was a surprise for everybody. Shows up on stage, and then they did a full projection show on Sleeping Beauty Castle that just showed different backdrops of the Star Wars universe. So if you were there last night, really cool, something unique that was different than all the other Star Wars nights. So I look forward to seeing those complaints online. Like, well, I went to Star Wars night and I didn't get that.
Yeah. Mike Celestino, top of the list. First one is said in a complaint. Something else we got yesterday, there was lots of new content that showed up on Disney Plus, but among them is now an always on channel in a galaxy far, far away is what it's called. And this is only going to be available for a limited time till May 22nd. But obviously it shows when I tuned in yesterday, it was showing The Acolyte. I was like, that's kind of funny. You launch this channel and then you're like, no, you're going to watch the show. You didn't watch the first time. You take your medicine. But yeah, that'll be around for a while, showing all things.
I thought there already was an always on Star Wars channel. So
I think Star Wars gets included in one of the other ones. I forget what they are. They're not as good as I thought they'd be, but they do keep launching new ones to their credit. We also, it's not on my schedule, but Phineas and Ferb got one the weekend.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. But also, if you missed anything from our May the 4th coverage, we do have a live blog where you can see all of our tweets from inside the parks, see this cool mural that they did at Downtown Disney. Yes, Downtown Disney. I had to look at the hashtags to see where we were. I like this Black Spire Spirit jersey is kind of interesting. That's another one of the pieces of merch that caught my attention. So yeah, you can go check that all out on laughingplace.com.
I also need to know
Right.
what that is that Mike bought.
The mouse droid.
Yeah.
It's a mouse droid.
Does it actually
it's a
like
droid.
move around though and everything?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Okay.
sure it's expensive. Did you see how big it is too? I had
Yeah,
no
yeah, yeah.
idea.
Well, that
I have a
doesn't mean
really seeing like photos of products. I can never tell what the size is. So seeing that photo of him in
Mhm.
scale, I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that it was that big.
I just want to
Any
know
other
if it's
comments
to
before we
control
move
his
on?
house. That the mouse is huge and that the always on channels should be permanent.
Yeah, I mean,
And
a lot
Gio
of them
agrees
are.
that jacket is way too much on the back.
I'm sure they'll bring back the Star Wars channel anytime there's a Star Wars thing happening, which feels like it's all the time. So it probably will be semi-permanent, or maybe they'll do a by popular demand. We'll get that sort of thing. But over at the Disneyland Resort, we got some news over the weekend that's pretty interesting. The Savannah Bananas are going to Disneyland. And I mean that quite literally, as there's
Yes.
going to be Savannah Banana Day on May 28th. So not too far from now. There'll be special food, beverage, and entertainment. And including in the entertainment, there's going to be a cavalcade down Main Street and a Savannah Bananas castle dance in front of Sleeping Beauty Castle to Hey Baby, which I assume is like, I don't know if it's a home run song or what. I watched a little bit on YouTube. And I know a lot of the games are going to be on Disney Plus and stuff, but I haven't, not that close into the lore. Although before Bananas Day at Disneyland, our own Mike Mack is going to be writing a primer or primer, if you want, kind of giving you a 101 about what you need to know about the Savannah Bananas.
I have to read that because I had to ask someone yesterday
Yeah.
what they are. They're like the Harlem Globetrotters for baseball.
Yeah, that's a perfectly apt description. And although I think the other team sometimes wins a little bit more than the Washington Generals do, but still. May 30th and 31st, they've also added 2 games that are going to be at Angel Stadium. And those games will be added to I think there was already 10 that were going to be streaming on ESPN or ESPN2 and Disney Plus. So there'll be 2 more from Anaheim right before. Those will take place right after Banana Day.
Rebecca's very excited. Yay, bananas. And then somebody's wondering when the next DTL is. We'll talk about that a little later, I'm sure.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Are you proud that I pulled Washington Generals, by the way? Can I get credit for that?
Oh, yeah, I didn't hear it at first, but yes, very good.
Cool. Thank you.
Who are the Washington Generals in terms of Savannah Bananas?
Oh, no, they're the team. Washington Generals play the Globetrotters.
Yeah, but like who are the...
Oh,
Savannah
so they have a
Bananas
couple
people?
different teams. The Party
Okay.
Animals is the one that I see the most often, but I do believe that there are some other ones.
All right.
Anyway,
Fair enough.
um,
Still at Disneyland, though.
still at
The new-
Disneyland, yes, at Downtown Disney.
At Downtown Disney.
These are some delicious looking treats, Tony.
They are not treats.
Oh.
I know I would be the first person to try it too. So I'm glad that I read that. Otherwise, I'd be looking at those things right there on the right and be like, all right. And then be immediately rushed to the hospital because
This
I'm sure,
frosting looks like a loofah.
because these are actually body care products from Nectar Life, who have opened up a pop-up location at Downtown Disney, closer to Din Tai Fung, ahead of their full store, which is coming over by the D-Lander shop later this year, which of course could mean December 30th. We don't have an actual date. They just said later this year. But they are known for self-care products that are quite luxurious. Is that the only picture I put in there?
Yes.
Okay. Because I put it, I'm sure I embedded their actual Instagram post, but there was a few different shots. They all look like yummy, delicious treats, but they're soaps and lotions and creams and all kinds of different fun self-care goods. But yeah, those donuts definitely would have got me for sure. And then
even with the
right
flat
on that,
bottom.
so-
Yeah, that looks like a delicious parfait. You ever hear someone, heck no, I don't like no parfait. Parfait's got to be about the best dang things in this world. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I'm assuming it's Community.
No. It's,
Oh, wow, okay.
Something way more in your world. And
Oh,
it's from
okay.
Shrek.
Oh, well, you know,
Yeah.
at a certain point, you start to repress and block most of that when you see Shrek content 2.5 hours at a time, again and again and again. Anyway, Also at Disneyland. It has since come and gone, so don't go there expecting to see it. But the NBA championship trophy was on display near the former Tortilla Joe's location, the Larry O'Brien championship trophy. Why was it at Disneyland? Because on ABC, starting in June 5th, the finals will begin. So don't ask who won it yet, because nobody has.
No, but I did see that the Nuggets advanced.
Okay.
That's all I know. I I hope the Cavs are still in. I know they won one game by like 50 points, which is kind of ridiculous. An elimination game, they swept, and the last game they won by like 55 points. Like that's some Washington Generals versus and Rebecca does point out, yes, the Savannah Bananas are actually playing the game, so that's why the other team wins a bit more occasionally than the Generals do.
They're not sitting there just like doing tricks and stuff and throwing the ball in their face. And
still at Disneyland, and still Tony.
Disneyland.
My gosh, he took like every story in this section.
Well, you took all the Star Wars ones. I felt.
Oh no, I knew I was going to blow through those, but still, no, you're fine.
Okay, all right.
People like to hear from Tony.
At the Port Royal Jazz Club is open as a seating area. This used to be the Haunted Mansion gift shop. No, this used to be the Haunted Mansion gift shop, which featured more Nightmare Before Christmas than Haunted Mansion goods. But definitely has opened up now that Haunted Mansion has its own store at the exit, Madame Leota's Curios or whatever it's called. This here is now seating area for the Royal. Oh my gosh, I even have it right here in the notes too. The Royal Street Veranda. I almost said Port Royal, but that's Pirates of the Caribbean. That's
Crown Royal.
Yeah. For the Royal Street Veranda, which already is only 3 tables right outside in that little corner. But now it's a seating area for that. But there is a theory brewing. Can we talk about that?
We can, although I will say our reporting suggests that there's no plans for that, or at least not immediate plans for that.
It's speculative.
Yeah.
But it's speculative that all the shops and seating areas now alongside Pirates of the Caribbean leading up to the Blue Bayou are being transformed into empty spaces, kind of, as that might become the queue for Pirates of the Caribbean to get it out of the pathway over there outside of Adventureland by the Rivers of America. So we'll see. We'll see if that happens. But as of now, it's just restaurant seating. But
they didn't do a ton of this, but they definitely did a lot more than I thought that they would.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that I'm impressed, but I feel like they could have gotten away with less. Like we saw it, like when that part of Adventureland turned into seating, and it was just
that was my first thought too.
The indie machine, and then some shady seating, and people are happy enough. But yeah, it's interesting to see if they actually did something in there.
And then the Indiana machine left. That went away.
And then it came back, and then it left. And then it came back
again. But Geo says it's strange to give up retail for seating, but again, they have the new retail at the exit of Haunted Mansion. Over here in my neck of the woods, we have a new room designs coming to Pop Century. Everybody loves Pop Century. Not my particular favorite, but it's VH1's I Love the 80s puked up a hotel, in my opinion. But yeah,
no, it has definitely got some gaudy elements to it, but I think what people like about it is Skyliner access, and it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg, just an arm.
Correct. Now I'll give you the Skyliner now. Makes it a great option. And the new rooms absolutely are building upon that. And they also feature the Murphy bed that is becoming more prevalent. And that was a very nice back and forth, Kyle. I don't know if you planned that or not, but very nice.
I made my own primitive gift.
The table and seating becomes the second bed in the room, as well as some very pop art throughout. Now, there's a catch if you are planning an immediate trip to the Pop Century Resort. Not all of the rooms are done yet in this way, so there's a chance you'll still get the older style if you are staying there in the near future.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I don't mind the look of those.
Back in the bus days, she appreciated that Pop had the most reliable bus transportation, it seemed.
Yeah. Tony, we're finally leaving the parks for this last story of the main section.
And that would be Deadpool's Ryan Reynolds is looking at another one. Now, he is apparently outspoken. Yes, another film. Sorry.
Oh, and no, I was doing the DJ Khaled.
Oh, sorry. Okay. He's been outspoken saying he'll never do a standalone Deadpool film again. That's why this time he is toying with the notion, and this is very early. He's just kind of said it in passing, I guess, and Hollywood Reporter jumped on it. He has an idea that he's kind of workshopping that would see Deadpool team up alongside 3 or 4 of the X-Men in a supporting role.
Where have I seen that before?
I don't know.
Wolverine.
The X-Men movie or Wolverine? Okay.
Well, Wolverine is an X-Man.
Yeah. So either way, I always thought Deadpool was kind of an offshoot of the X-Men anyway, so it wasn't completely jarring to me. But yeah.
It is. That's why it was with Fox.
No timeline. He's currently working on another movie with Paramount right now. But with the retro X-Men being cast in Doomsday that we're aware of, there is potential in the future. So,
well, before we move on to our next section, let's take a look at the Disney Plus top 10. This is the unadulterated full MA version. Star Wars Tales of the Underworld released yesterday. Maybe we'll talk about that in just a moment. Number 1, Phantom Menace is number 2. A New Hope is number 3. That shows you about shifting demographics right there. Revenge of the Sith, number 4. Confusing with the chapters. And Mufasa, number 5. Attack of the Clones, 6. Very Star Wars heavy, in case you couldn't tell. Panda, all the way down at 8. It was number 1 last time we checked. Andor, number 9. And, of course, Thunderbolts, a special look, which is not the movie, but a trailer for the movie.
I'm still convinced that when these pop up, it's because people think of the movie is already there.
Oh, yeah. It's I would say confirmed, but there's nothing to really confirm there. Anyway, let's move on to the...
And I've had my share of bad reviews. I still remember my first good one, though. Everything else in this production of Our Town was simply terrible. Joey Tribbiani was abysmal.
So speaking of that Star Wars show, Tales of the Underworld, our own Mike Celestino had a chance to review it. So his headline is TV Review. The characters of Asajj Ventress and Cad Bane are expanded upon in Star Wars Tales of the Underworld. His subhead is following in the footsteps of Tales of the Jedi and Tales of the Empire. And I abridged his final paragraph, but he says, there's a good amount to chew on here, and I'd say Bane deserved to get a little bit more depth added to his character, especially after his live-action death. Spoilers. In Star Wars The Book of Boba Fett. It was a while ago. You should have seen it. So ultimately, my opinion is that the back half of the miniseries is stronger than the front, but in general, I would want future installments of the Tales of series to feel a little less disposable and a little more consequential. So you can check out that right now on Disney Plus. And I'm going to remove the hold from this next segment because that was from Friday.
And the rest.
Tony, we're back in the parks. We couldn't stay away for too long.
Well, yes, to celebrate AANHPI month, Disney PhotoPass at Disney parks domestically are launching new magic shots featuring some favorite characters from recent classics that I will call them classics already because they are multiple years old at this point. You can get pictures with Red Panda May from Turning Red, the Pixar film of recent years. Russell from Up will also be in some magic shots. And then we'll also have... I didn't grab the image because I'm dumb.
Sorry.
That's my fault. The big one, though, I think is going to be Moana's Oar, and that's only at Animal Kingdom at the entrance, but it'll be Moana's Oar and Hey Hey, because it's got the full prop shot too and the magic shot element. So that will be very interesting. And Big Hero 6 would be the last one. Check out our post there, and you'll have all the different locations for where they're at. All of them except for Moana's Oar are at both Disneyland and Walt Disney World in various places.
And we recently talked about Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires coming, and they released the first single. It's called The Place to Be. And I figured we would at least take a short look. So let's just see here.
The billiard. Not billiard. Not the billiard. It's, come on, already. Come on. We call it the place. The place.
Oh, that was the maestro behind the song. So, no, obviously that's.
That was so good. That caught me so off guard. I'm like, what? No way.
We don't usually do those sorts of bits here on the morning show, but I could not resist when I saw the title of this song. But anyway, yes, you can stream the real song over on your favorite places. You can also pre-order. There's this. Well, I'm lost. Yes, pre-order this music from the Zombies vinyl album in beautiful zombie green. That'll be released on July 11th. As for the movie, it'll come out on July 10th on Disney Channel and be available to stream the next day on Disney Plus.
Zombies are.
Sorry, once I commit to hitting the button.
Yeah, you hit it. And I said zombies or descendants. Popcorn or churro?
Zombies, because I've actually seen one of those.
Okay.
Milo Manheim is. I like both Milo and Meg a lot.
Nepo. Sorry.
Is Meg Donnelly a Nepo or just
no? But just Milo
Cameron
Manheim.
Manheim's.
Yep.
Well, today what I want to talk about.
Callback, by the way.
Yes. The latest episode of the Laughing Place on Balance podcast is available, and guess what? Tony's on this episode because he and Ben got a chance to interview Shane and Chris Houghton. So, Tony, I keep wanting to say Jeff Houghton because there's a local guy here who used to do a late night talk show, which Chappell Roan was on a couple of times, way before she was famous, even before her name was Chappell Roan. And so anyway, his name is Jeff Houghton. So I always want to say that. But no, it's Shane and Chris Houghton, who Big City Greens, 100th episode coming up. You guys got to interview them, and then you get to hear essays from me and Ben.
Thrilling.
So be sure to check. It is thrilling.
Okay,
I put a lot of
the way
work
you
into
said
those.
it was very like you get to hear it.
Well, no, mine might not age very well.
Oh,
so we'll see how that goes.
Well, now I'm curious. I'll have to go listen to myself and you.
You can check that out wherever you get your podcast. Please do. I put a lot of work into this episode, especially. So, anyway.
And
not that one, the other one.
Okay, Rebecca, real quick, wonders if all the Play channel impacts the rankings on Disney Plus. I don't think so. Would it be by selecting it? Wouldn't it? Or
I don't know if they've popped the hood on that one and told us about that. Okay. I would imagine that it's selected media, but
the fun stuff.
And this is definitionally fun stuff, Tony.
Yes. You know, a lot of marketing stunts don't really. I usually go, okay, that's enough. But this one is fun. I enjoy this one a lot. They have a robotic Stitch that is now popping up at a theater. And it looks like it's the same theater. I'm hesitant to say.
Not all of them are the same theater because this is an AMC, and as you point out, there's at least a Cinemark one.
Okay, so then he is popping to other locations, but
mostly in the Southern California area, I'd imagine.
Yes,
maybe expanding to Florida one day.
But here he is popping out of a popcorn bucket. Surprising guest at the concession stand. If you keep going, you're going to see one where he's driving around the theater.
Sorry, they're loud.
For no reason other than just to terrorize and cause chaos. But my personal favorite is the next one. He is working the box office, as it were.
I don't know how to mute this one.
As he comes up and just grants your admission right there. I don't know. I would wait in a separate line just for that part. So
yeah, I like the one you sent me where it was at a Cinemark, and he's like, "Thank you."
Yep. Yeah, and the video and the one right there. I saw the other one way later because these things are taking over the internet right now. Every feed I have has at least one Stitch in the theater somewhere.
I'm sure there'll be a Disney sizzle reel at some point.
Probably, yeah.
As they tend to do with like parks appearances and things like that.
One says the one I sent you last night later was saying thank you, but I agree with Gio. I like that. Bye bye. Like he just scans it. Like get out of here. So
bye bye. Yeah, he's chanting his inner David Spade.
Inner David Spade.
Well,
You hit the button
today's
on me again.
today's
that's
pocket
actually
pick.
twice, but moving on. Pocket
Today's
picks.
pocket pick is sent to us by one Doobie Mosley,
Oh,
and we have a little bit to discuss after this. So let's pull this up.
all right.
I will unmute.
I'm going to miss my transport.
I'm sorry, sir, but this is against TSA guidelines. This is not allowed through TSA on today.
That is not what your data protocol says.
Now I got to figure out how to take this off the screen. Okay, I can't fix it. Okay, I figured it out. Hold on one more second. Sorry. This is very complicated stuff. So anyway, this is from the DFW airport. It says the 4th is strong, but so is airport
Dallas, Fort Worth.
security. What did I say? Oh, you're just interpreting?
We all know.
Thank you. So they're kind of like emphasizing security here, but then the joke is that they're wrong, that their site says that he's allowed to bring it. So I'm confused what the message is here. Is that you should trust TSA.com, or you should just, or that they can change their mind at any moment and deny you boarding?
Or should you just go watch Star Wars instead of flying anywhere?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know what they're getting at. But anyway.
No, I agree. That is confusing, because then it's like, okay, so because your website says it, I can bring my technical weapon onto the plane. So
Remember the whole TSA debacle over the soda bottles from Galaxy's Edge?
oh yeah. That was fun. That was a good time.
Anyway, let's get to this day.
You should have
in
used
Disney history.
those.
Are you ready, Tony? It's a big day.
Okay.
On this day in
Cinco de
1927, on this day in 1927, someone was born. She passed away in 2022, unfortunately, but she is known for her outstanding role, I'll say, in The Little Mermaid.
Pat Carroll?
That is Pat Carroll, voice of Ursula, in case you did not know. On this day in 1929, a Disney legend was born. Cinderella. That's all I really need to say.
Oh, I don't know her name offhand. Or wait, no, I got nothing.
Eileen Woods.
Eileen Woods, yeah, that would have taken an IMDb look.
Yeah, that's okay. I forgive you. On this day in 1981, I hope you get this one. She, I could make it a little bit easier, but I will say
Birthday?
What?
Birthday?
1981 birthday.
Yeah. Okay.
Known for an ABC sitcom in the 90s, and today is a director who directs several Disney projects, including most recently Wizards Beyond Waverly Place. It was probably one of your first crushes.
Okay. Well, I don't think Natalie Portman's directing. It's not. Danica McKellar was a little older than me, so
You're on the right track. They're very closely related in a way.
I don't think Topanga's directing.
Topanga is directing.
Okay.
The answer is Danielle
Okay,
Fishel.
so it is Danielle Fishel.
Yeah, she directs Lopez versus Lopez, Shifting Gears for ABC, and like I said, lots of Disney Channel shows, Raven's Home, and Wizards. So there you go. I taught you
If
that.
we kept
Topanga is
guessing, we were just
directing.
going to get my full childhood crush roster, and that was Danielle
But
Fishel
yeah,
would've been
you
a
see
little
how
bit lower down the list. Yeah,
Danica McKellar was Winnie
Yeah.
Cooper on The Wonder Years with Fred Savage. Danielle was Topanga with Ben Savage.
it's
Anyway.
almost the same show, just a little bit different.
Not really at
No,
all.
really?
One takes place in the 1960s,
I'm talking about
retrospectively.
themes.
The other one,
Themes.
yeah,
Themes,
okay.
Coming of age,
No, that's
growing
fair.
up. So
On this day in 1987, Disneyland introduced a new way to pay.
1987, the all-in-one passport.
No, a new way to pay.
Oh, Disney dollars.
Disney dollars. There they are. Classic pink and green. That was big then, and would go on to
retired,
theme every. Yeah, I was very sad about that.
and now worth more than their actual monetary value.
Surely. On this day in 2004, a major attraction open at Disney California Adventure?
2004, Hollywood Tower of sorry, I almost did exactly what I hate. The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror.
Yes. There it is, and now it's gone, sort of. We got a three banger. This day in 2005, an attraction opened at Epcot.
Okay. Soarin'.
Yes.
Keep
Soarin'.
going. Because this was the 50th launch event, wasn't it?
We're gonna talk about why this all happened at one time.
Okay.
On this day, 2005, Hollywood Studios.
Lights, Motors, Action.
Lights, Motors, Action, Extreme, Stunt, Spectacular. On this day, in 2005, at Magic Kingdom.
Cinderellabration.
Cinderellabration, yes. So, in case you didn't catch on, this was all part of a special event where Walt Disney World, for some reason, got presents from all the other parks, or several of the other parks in the world. So it got Soarin' from DCA, it got Lights, Motors, Action from Walt Disney Studios Park, and then it got Cinderellabration from Tokyo. So a kind of a fun idea. Cinderellabration, definitely the least impactful of the three.
I would say that was the pinnacle before everything started becoming clones of other attractions. So that was just like, hey, if we can do it, let's do it. And then boom.
On this day in 2006, Disney closed a very important acquisition for Tony.
Pixar.
Yes, I don't have a photo for it. You know what Pixar is. And finally, on this day in 2017, Marvel released a film.
In 2017, Marvel. 2017 Marvel.
I'll say it's a direct sequel.
Oh, it was the second Guardians?
Second Guardians. There you go. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Very well done, Tony.
Thanks.
Well, that is it for this edition of the morning show. Let me just give a quick refresh to the Parks blog so I can be disappointed. There we go. We won't be back today, but Parks Talk will be. They'll be at 4 p.m. this afternoon. So be sure to check that out. We will be back tomorrow for this show, as far as I know. And I also want to know, in addition to...
It won't be me, though.
Yeah. In addition to subscribing here on YouTube, you should also go over to laughingplace.com/subscribe or laughingplace.com/newsletter and sign up for our daily newsletter. It's been redesigned. It's got nice photos and sections, and it'll let you know what's happening the next day, both in terms of what's happening on Laughing Place, but also what is happening in the world of Disney. So be sure to subscribe to that. You won't regret it. Anything else, Tony?
I got nothing.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody. We'll see you all soon. Bye.